Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with another postcard. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this. Put this hashtag into your social media search bar. If it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, possibly TikTok, I'm not sure about other social media, because I don't really do much more than YouTube and Facebook nowadays. If you put this in and hit enter, it should bring up a whole load of videos and still images and tutorials now on making arty postcards. So it's a challenge I'm running in July 2024, and it's a huge success, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for it. So let's see, what do I do today? Right, I need to do a 6x4. So I know I'm going to need a bit of, I've got one of these cookie sheets to keep things cleanish. Now, you may have seen in a couple of other postcard videos, I've been starting one of these. And what it is, it's basically, I picked up two, I've got one over there. My local thrift store charity shop was selling 2 books for £1, which is like, well, if you're in the States, it's like 40 cents a book. Here it's 50p a book. And what I've been doing, it was something I saw Darcy Sanders doing, and apparently, well, that's quite pretty. And it's something apparently she saw someone else doing as well. So what it is when you're clearing off your braille or using up old paint or something, just put it on the pages. So I started this. I expected it to go on for a while, but I thought, I just fancy using a piece out of here to see whether I've got any that I really like. Quite like that one. I do remember there's one in here I did like. I just need to find it. The only thing I kind of watch out for if I'm ever using books is like this, called The Axeman's Jazz. I have no idea what this is about. I just try to make sure I obliterate most of the words on the page, or at least I know it's a book that's not going to be offensive. That's the only thing I would say when you're using books from a thrift store, because some of those books are older books and language was slightly different back then. Let's just say it that way. I think the other one I've got on the go is a gardening book. So try to go for cookery books or gardening books or home decor books or things like that, because they're safer. If you know what I mean. You're not like to offend anyone, but this is just for me. So no, what is something? The one I've got in mind, I can't find it now. It was more white. That's quite cute though. Let's just keep thinking. Wasn't that one? Oh, this is the one. Right, I really like this, and I like the fact, because what I did is I spread some paint on and basically just scraped through it with the end of my, yeah, that thing, whatever the heck it's called, paintbrush. Yeah, my paintbrush. Sorry guys, it's been one of those days. Right, let's find a ruler that I can tear against. Right, biggest tear ruler in the world. Right, I'm going to tear this off here. And I'm leaving this piece in the stem, in the spine, because you never know, that may become a strip for something. So excited about it. Why is it covered in this? Because I know over time this is going to get wet, it's going to get paint on it, and although that would look really nice and aesthetic, this is just duct tape. I had some spare masking tape I put over the outside, just because over time it's going to start getting soggy and messy, and I didn't really want that. Right, I kind of wanted this piece up here. I have sort of got in mind what I want to do with this. So no, Darcy Sanders, I think, did say this wasn't her original idea. It was someone else's original idea, but she's adapted it or adopted it to make painty pages, saving her paint. I totally applaud that, because I normally do arty labels. Interesting scraps. I normally do arty labels, so for me I can now do arty pages and arty labels. Now this is only paper and this is only cardboard, so I'm assuming I could quite easily just stick that to that. So let me get a bit of gluing paper. By gluing paper I just mean a bit of a magazine. So let me just get some of this. Now, I don't believe this is going to be a very wet techniques one, so I'm just using glue stick. This is the one I use. I am fairly heavy-handed with my glue when I use a glue stick. That's probably why I go through so many glue sticks. But I also don't have problem with stuff lifting off either. So I think if you're a bit timid with your glue stick, guess what? Your glue stick's going to lift on you. Right. Let's take that off of there. Let's take that off of there too. Now, let's lift this out of there. So I've got this gluey mess gone. Fold it over immediately so I don't put something in it. I can use that for gluing something else. Put this down. But as you can see by this, you can't see any of the wording. So that was the reason I wanted to use this page as well. Just going to press it down now. Just going to smooth it down. This is just a cake scraper from my cake decorating days. And this piece here, if nothing else, would qualify as my piece from a gel plate, because remember, the pieces from the gel plate can be a gel print, a bray-off, or anything generated by a gel plate. So there you go. That's how you get past that one. Right. I'm going to let that one sit for a second or two, am I? Actually, I might be able to cut that. Let's just see if I can cut this. I don't normally cut things when they're still gluey, but I'm sure I can get away with this time. So yes, this is postcard number 26, I believe. So I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. This has been a long month, though, I must admit. It's a lot of videos to film and edit and upload. And of course, me being me, I didn't do shorts or reels. I basically just, will you get off my darn scissors? Thank you. I basically did videos. I think the shortest one is about 12 minutes. And I think the longest one, I want to say, is close to an hour long, but most of them are 20 to 30 minutes long, which is not what I was planning. But you know what? Sometimes that just happens. And I can be a bit wordy, as we know. Right. Now, for here, I wanted to use a dragonfly because I haven't used a dragonfly yet. And I quite like the idea of the dragonfly there. And you can now see why I wanted this white piece. Would it work on the red though? It would, but in my mind, I've always had the red at the bottom. So I'm going to put this little one on with some matte gel medium. You've seen me use it before. This is the matte gel medium that I prefer to use. And I always squeeze out far too much matte gel medium, so let's see if I can squeeze out less. You watch, I'll have to go back and get more matte gel medium now. Right, let's just see if I can find a paintbrush. That's a softish paintbrush. And it fits across there perfectly. So down to about there for the tail. And the rest goes across here. Now I'm using matte gel medium here because I'm going on to an acrylic painted surface. The acrylic painted surface is sort of a plastic type feel to it. If you've not used acrylics, that's the reason why. Now, because the background is light in color, this gift wrap tissue, and this is gift wrap, this is not wet strength tissue, you will find because it is gift wrap, it's going to disappear into the background. Let's see if I pick that up. So you've probably seen in other ones where even though it's gift wrap, I have had the problem that you can still see the outline. That's because they were normally done on a darker colored background, which in itself causes me problems. I'm liking that just as it is, to be honest. I do have plans though. We're not going to go on just on what you've got here. I was trying to do something that's quite dramatic with this one. I love that. I do love this foam stamp. It's a foam stamp by PM Artist Studio. I think it's literally called Dragonflies or Dragonfly, whichever it is. Right, I've got those little bits to trim off the edge, which I'll trim in a moment or three. So what else do I put? Now I want to put a number 26 on here, and I'm going to go big and bold on this one. So I'm thinking of putting something like that, or I want to play with them in some way, possibly. Do I want to overlap them? They don't have to be all the same way up either. Get off there, I haven't done you yet. That's actually quite cute, isn't it? Right, this is my 5x7 gel press. It's my oldest gel press. As you can see, it's almost black. That's just through years of use and years of it being stained by paint and stuff like that. So don't worry, it not affect how it's used. It just is the way it is. Now I am going to do black. Right, just using Mars Black. This is an inexpensive acrylic paint. And actually, if I lay it on top of here, I won't have to clean up my mat afterwards, would I? So I'm going to bray this out till it's reasonably thin. And then I'm going to use, this is a foam stamp by Pierre Martin Studio. I don't know whether it's called Nested Squares or something like that. I love this design. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called though, because I'm horrible at names. I want to use this to add some drama to this. Now I want a bit down there. I fancied a little bit up here. And that's pretty much all I wanted to do. Oh, I'll do that. I'm playing with fire. I've seen this bit and not actually. If I just come in there, there you go. I just wanted that not to be fuzzy. Right, and I've got the numbers down there. We might have almost done it. So this needs to go onto a piece of damp cloth so that the paint doesn't dry out. That needs a bit of tissue paper or something on it, just so that it doesn't get wasted. And wasted as in thrown away, not wasted as in drunk, because you know what I mean. Right, that can just sit there. It doesn't need to be talked about anymore. Right, let's just come in with my little pair of scissors. Let's see if I can just snip off anything that is just extruding slightly, which is that bit and that bit. Right, that's still a bit wet. I'm wondering whether I should hit this with the hairdryer. I think I should. Give me 2 seconds, guys, because I don't want to be sticking stuff on there or touching that, because if it's still wet, the matte medium, and I touch with my finger will come away. It's likely to pull away what's on there as well. It'll give me a chance to clean up this as well. And I'm back. So here we go. So this is nice and dry now. I've got no problems. I'm not going to mix up. So I'll put that there a bit. Now I want to do something on these. I like the fact that they're black. However, I want to play with the black. I don't want it to be so stark. I want to put a pattern across the top. Going to use a combination of these colours. And you're probably going, what? Just go with me, guys. You know me and colour. I like colour. Oh, okay, a little bit's fine. I don't need a huge amount for what I want to do. The reason I'm mixing the two up is I didn't want it that bright and I didn't want it that dark, so I mix it up. And what I'm going to do is, I'm excited. I found like the world's smallest bubble wrap. And I mean, you know me for bubble wrap. I was like, oh my God, that's so small. So I'm going to use a piece of this and hopefully it'll be fine. It'll do what I want it to do. Actually, I don't want all of this because otherwise I'm going to get stuck handling a big piece of bubble wrap. So get off there. Now I'm going to be careful about this and do it a bit on here first because I want to make sure that it is what I want. That is kind of the colour I was looking for. I want a little bit more of the lighter stuff in this, I think. I want it in there, but I don't want it. I do wish I could get around to ordering more paint. My bad. I mean, it's not like there's no paint in the world. So I just want to touch this down and just do a little bit of a... Yes, that is what I want. So I've lined them up on the gel, on the mat here, because I want the lines to match up with each other. Not because they're going to be side by side, as you saw, but because... Right, that's exactly what I wanted. So let's just pull that down and pull that up. Now I'm going to put in a couple of little patches of this, and I am talking a couple of little patches just to take the eye around the design. I think I'd like just a little bit in there. Right, we'll do that and put that into the book in a moment, because that can go onto another page. So those are my elements. They need to dry, actually. Let's push those to the top, get those off my fingers. So let's pull in one of these pages. Let's just put it on here. But see, this is just how I'm basically cleaning up stuff instead of it going in the bin, which it should never go in the bin. It just means I can come in and put stuff onto pages, and already that's a fabulous looking page. And this is the other book I was talking about, the one that is a gardening book, so I'm just going to put that on there. This is a fabulous idea. Thank you, Darcy. And wouldn't this make a great gift if you did one of these, partially filled it, don't fill it all the way, partially filled it, and then sent it to a friend who's into mixed media and stuff like that, and they could do it. Put that back in the drawer, you never know when I use it. Right, time to have a bit of a clean up again. I know it's always pause, start, pause, start, pause, start. It's mixed media, things need to dry. Back in 2. And we're back. So this is dry and these are dry. Someone's going to ask me where these came from. They were a thing from a friend of mine. They apparently are a die cut. What am I doing with that? I can use that later. Right, I'm going to use Art Glitter Glue to put the numbers down. And as you saw, I'm going to put them in a funky fashion. And I'm using Art Glitter Glue because this is sort of cardstock. Well, it is cardstock. It's not a heavy cardstock, but it's cardstock. And it's going onto a painty surface. And I want this one to be that way up, don't I? Trying to remember my own design for a second. Get that pressed down to make sure it's all nicely embedded. And then this number 2 will go in there above it. So just playing around with the shapes of the numbers. I know some of you have already done that. I don't know that I've done that, to be honest. I've tried to keep my numbers reasonably into the backgrounds, or at least matching the backgrounds they're from. So let's just put that there. Is that straight is the question? It kind of is now. Right. There was one other thing I wanted to do, which you may have noticed. I pulled out a Posca pen, and this is a PC1MR. And I need a bit of paper just to make sure that it's writing correctly. Oh, I'm not sure it is writing correctly. Why test white on white, Griffiths? You can't see it. Please write correctly. It is writing correctly. Yes, why try something white on something light? Seriously. So I'm going to circle the bubble wrap pieces, because what that will do is it will tie them into the overall color scheme of the design, and it's as almost as if they're in camouflage. And why did I want them lined up? Because I wanted the vertical horizontal thing happening with the dots. So as you can see here, these are in a row. Now, am I worried that I'm not drawing a perfect circle? No, not at all. And part of that relief from perfectionism is because the bubble wrap didn't stamp them in perfect circles. So see, that's just, I like that. That's pushed it into the background. Now some of these are partial as well. I was really excited when I saw this smaller bubble wrap. I went, oh, not seen that size. So my sister ordered something. I think she must have ordered it from, I would say eBay, because it wasn't in an Amazon package. And the person, it was a piece of gardening equipment tool. It was a blade for a hoe or a trowel or something. We've got some paving stones in our garden, and of course the grass grows between them, and so do the weeds, and we were like, need to sort that out. So that was up to her. I think I like that. Part of me wants to circle those, but part of me says don't circle them, so I'm not going to. Right, going to go and dry this off completely so I don't put my fingers in it, and we'll be back in two. And here we go, all nice and finished. I'm so happy with that. That's first time I played with playing around with the shapes of numbers. First time I've used a dragonfly in this challenge, which is pretty remarkable when, if you know me, you know how significant dragonflies are to me. I just love this. This is just slightly contemporary, slightly not. I did edge it in black. You've seen me do that before, just with a chisel edge black marker around the edges. I like that. It's got a playful thing to it. I love the texture that's come through. It's all from that book page. I mean, you reckon the majority of this was just stuff that would have been thrown out on a bit of Kleenex or tissue if I hadn't put it into that book. So loving that. Hope you enjoyed it too. Right, let's get ready. We need to do another postcard. But until that video, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Goodbye now.